Next, I'd like to show you automation. And since I'm going to do some extreme moves so you'll see the difference and hear the difference, I'm going to duplicate the bass track so I don't affect the original one. So I'm just duplicating that, and then I'm going to go to the mix window. Under auto are our automation settings. Right now it's set to auto read, so it's going to read any automation that is already on the channel. Off means it's not looking for automation at all. The first one I'm going to go to is write. Write is an absolute mode, and will write any fader moves from start to finish. So I'm going to start playing the track, and I'm going to make some fader moves. Okay, so if I play that back, it'll play back my fader moves. Okay, let's say I'd like to make some changes to that. I can change the mode. First, I'm going to go to touch. So touch means anytime I touch the fader, it will start writing a new move. When I let go of the fader, it will go back to the automation that was already there. So let's try that. So you saw and heard when I let go of the fader, it went back to what was already written there. There's one more mode, and that's latch. It's very similar to touch, so it will write anytime I touch the fader, but when I let go of the fader, it will remain at that volume until I stop or grab the fader again. Let's try that. And as you can see in here, since I'm not touching the fader, it's just staying at the level I left it at. But if I touch it again, it will start to write. Okay, play that again. Okay, so I can also make adjustments in the edit window as well. So if we look at our duplicate bass track, right now it's in waveform, but we can switch it to volume mode. And you see all these points are where I made my automation changes with the fader. Let's say I wanted to change some of those points. I could take the grabber tool and move those points around. I could also delete points by holding down Option and clicking on a point. Or I can add more points by clicking anywhere on the volume line. So those are ways I can adjust the automation in the edit window. And in my opinion, unless you have a control surface, this is much easier to do in the edit window, in my opinion. There are also some other parameters we can automate. So besides volume, we can also automate the mute button as well. And again, our modes apply. Okay, so we can leave it in latch, and I'll just play it, and I'll hit the mute button at various points. And as you can see, it's written new automation. Anytime I've hit the mute button, it's taken the volume all the way down. And if we go to the mix window, you'll see the mute button go in and out. So I can also automate panning. So if I switch here to pan, we see the pan line, which is in the center at the moment. But if I click multiple points, I can pan, say, hard left, hard right, etc. Let's see what that sounds like. And if I switch to the mix window, you'll see the pan knob move. So the final automation that I'd like to show you is for plugins. So if we click this button below the auto, this shows us how many parameters we can automate with this EQ. So just to keep it simple, I'm going to automate master bypass, input, and output level. So I add it to my automation window. So these are going to be the parameters I can automate, but I can automate all of these. So if I wanted to automate any more, I would just choose them and add them to this list. We know that we can automate them because they show up with these red marks. And again, our automation modes apply. So I'm going to click the bypass in and out, and in and out, change the output level, change the input level, and it's going to record those moves. So let's see. See where it's replaying the bypass I put in? It's replaying the output level change and the input level change. And that's how you automate plugins.